So, yes. Two goals of Eastern wisdom: end of suffering. What is suffering? Insecurity, dissatisfaction, and unhappiness. That includes our anxiety, fear, hesitation, reaction, duality, conflict. Mind is crazy, lazy, and obsessed. Second goal is to awaken, to realize. What to realize? That peace is me, happiness is me, love and wisdom is me. That is the goal. So based on these two goals, you know when you reach there, leave everything. And if you are not there, we have to continue the practice. This is what all our 3,000 masters repeated, the same principle again and again. So I know it. No, I have a confidence in you. You are a teacher. It will not work. Don't have a confidence on me or any teacher. Do you have a confidence on you? Are you aware that you are living in peace and happiness 24/7? You have to look at yourself because it is a journey of the self-discovery. It is not a journey of other discovery. Oh, you are a good teacher or a great teacher or a small teacher, or you are a crazy teacher. It will not work. Final goal is the end of suffering. I'm taking a higher principle. No, I always take higher principle in every session. Why? I have a chance to go down. If I take the lowest principle, there is no chance. And if you do not understand. So I always take in every session the highest principle. We have been talking of so many principles and practices. I don't remember. You have to remember in order to change. And once you reach there, leave all the principles. You want to reach to some destination, you put the GPS. So you keep the GPS on after reaching the destination. Understand it clearly. We don't need any principle at all once we are there. But to teach, I need principles. And to learn in the beginning, we need principles. And I have covered that topic, how many times to repeat, to remember all the principles. I told you 21 times is minimum. Minimum to the highest level of a seeker. You are a highest level of a seeker, you repeat 21 times. It is absorbed into your intellect, the knowledge is realized, done. If not, ask yourself, why? No, I'm busy and awful. It will not work. The very busyness is removed completely once you understand the principle. You may be a CEO, you may be Bill Gates. The very state of the mind that is busyness is gone once and for all. You are relaxed. Well, I'm picking up a couple of the principles. So let me know you are not busy. Are you busy? No, I'm busy listening to you. You have destroyed the entire journey. Now we come to the topic, what is real self? In order to know, real self is other than three bodies. Real self is other than the five sheaths. So it means the real self is beyond the three bodies, beyond the five sheaths. We will also cover it is beyond all the three states. Now understand one thing more clear, why we start with the negation process. Why I should know what I am not. Because we got mixed up. There is a mixture of what I am and what I am not in our daily thought, speech, and action. So unless we reject, where we have to reject? We have to reject in the mind as a knowledge. So when we reject, we are not the three bodies, we are not the five sheaths. By discernment and dispassion, then we can get some glimpse of it. My master one day he said, you see that, think, visualize that your right arm is separate from you. It is cut. Now where are you? Are you in the right arm or are you in the rest of the body? Where are you? That proves I'm not the body. Both are bodies. And both are, and the rest of the body is not me. I continue to exist whether the arm is with me or not, or separated. Now the next question comes, okay, you say that we are not the three bodies. Okay, understood. We are not the five sheaths. Then I want to see where I am. I want to see where I am. I pointed out to Terry when she struggled with the two eye. One eye was asking where I am, if you remember. Think of this. Did I get some idea that where I am? No, okay, I understood that I'm not the three bodies. I'm not the three bodies. I'm not the five sheaths. Very good. I understood that. Then where I am? Have you ever thought of this question? So there are, it is known as there are 7 great superstars. Superstar means there are 7 great masters who promoted them, who taught the entire Eastern wisdom tradition, and from the 7 masters and then many masters came. So one master gives the story, the 10th man story. Do you remember that? I covered that 2 years ago. 10th man story. So there were 10 students, seekers, who were learning under a teacher in a monastery. So one day they asked the teacher they want to go to the village and have a trip. On the way they found So Master said that every time, wherever you go, you have to count that 10 seekers are intact. I'm answering, who am I? Still, after understanding that we are not the three bodies and we are not the 5 sheaths, there is a problem. So on the way they found a river, they crossed the river, and all the 10 seekers started counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They did not count them. Oh, only nine students. One person is drowned in the river. What should we do? So every seeker counted except himself. You have to understand the very knowledge part. You have to understand the very awareness in that. That is how these parables are created. So one monk was passing by and he saw that they were struggling to find where is the 10th man. So he said, I will tell you. No issue, I'll tell you. So he picked up one seeker and he said, start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You see, the mind is outside. And the monk turned his finger to himself. Here is the 10th. Oh, you found the 10th. You found the 10th. In order to understand that, all the 10 seekers have a tremendous faith in the monk. Oh no, you say that, we'll have that. So that faith, that belief pending inquiry is required in the journey of self-discovery. So now what is the message here? Message is so simple. That this mind is always searching, who am I in the world outside? And I'm not in the world. The world is different and separate from me. So unless this mind turns inward, it becomes aware, you know your real self. From the day we are born, our mind expected mother to feed us the milk, change the wet bed, and that mind stored the impression that pleasure and happiness comes from outside. That is why our parents gave us the toys to be happy, storybooks to be happy. And then we developed our I. That false I is constantly expecting, wanting, craving peace and happiness outside, which is not there. That is why we follow the negation process. Can we change the direction of the mind from outside to inside? We are going deeper. Now, in every session, I told you that we are going deeper. We have understood that we experience the three bodies. We also discover and understand the 5 sheaths. Who we are then? We are present all the time. So here the Master says, we are not the experiences. We are an experiencer. Did you get it? That is the answer. We are none of these experiences. Any experience I have is separate and different from me, that is not me. Pain, pleasure, attachment, detachment, victory and defeat, profit and loss. Any experience you have is not you. So 10th man, he was experiencing 9 people. He was not pointing himself to himself. That who is knowing all the 9 people? So there the master says, knower is always a subject, different from the known and object. I cannot become, that real self can never become an object of my experience. Are you getting it? It can never become. I know the mouse, but I'm not the mouse. So simple. I know you, but I'm not you. So the conclusion the master gives, whatever I know, whatever in the world I know, I am not. Mind says I'm in stress, I'm not. See that? Mind says I am honey, I'm not. Honey is a label. It doesn't mean that I should leave honey. It means that I should allow the real self to express, play a role of honey, done. See another example. Objects are there outside. Our sense organ knows the object, but the object cannot know the sense organ. Mouse cannot know my eyes. I'm conscious being. This is material. So you see, one master beautifully says that you can be in the highest state of meditation here and now. I know the mouse means through my eyes, backed by the sense organ, but the mouse does not know the sense organ. Any object outside cannot know the real self. That is why we say the mind has to be empty. There must be a total emptiness in the state of nothingness. Now go back. Object cannot know the sense organ. Now see. Sense organ cannot know the mind. Mind is the knower. Are you getting it? Mind is the knower. Sense organ cannot know the mind. Who is the knower cannot be known by the object that I know. Mouse cannot know the senses. Senses cannot know the mind. Mind cannot know the intellect. Intellect cannot know the ego. Ego cannot know the last point, real self. That is why majority of the master says that we should be in the state of emptiness of the, because if there is no emptiness, there is an object. I'm caught in there. Still not that. Now the same master we are learning from on Saturdays in another chapter, he gives another clue. Sugar plus milk. Sugar lends its sweetness to the milk, and that is why the milk becomes sweet. Do you agree? Sugar lends its sweetness in the milk and milk becomes sweet. Sugar lends its sweetness into the water becomes sweet. Clear? Yes, clear. Now sugar lends the sweetness to a sugar. Am I crazy? Yes. This is total craziness. Essential nature of a sugar is sweet. So to make the sugar sweet, I need not to add sugar. Did you understand this metaphor? Let us apply this metaphor. Consciousness plus milk. Milk is known. Consciousness plus brandy. Brandy is known. Example. Consciousness plus David. David is known. Consciousness plus TV. TV is known. Oh, so I have to add consciousness to know myself? I am consciousness. I am consciousness. I need not to add consciousness into the same consciousness to know myself. What a beautiful metaphor this master gives. That consciousness is the knower, that seer, that is the real self. That is why we say we are not the three bodies, we are not the five sheaths. Consciousness plus the physical body is known. Consciousness plus the subtle body is known. Consciousness plus the causal body is known. How do I know the causal body? When I say I don't know, it is causal body. It is ignorance. I know something and I do not know something. Behind that, there is a consciousness. That is why I claim I do not know and I know. In both the cases. I know more self more than my honey. And the blame, complaint, and reaction starts. What is the point we are making? That the knower is independent. Known is always dependent. Let the mouse be kept wherever it is kept. If the knower is not there, you do not know it is mouse. Known depends on the knower. The knower does not depend on anything. Whether the mouse is there, I am still there. Mouse is not there, I am still there. That is what the consciousness is. That is what the knower is. We are just moving in a little higher journey. Now this master, which we are studying on Saturdays, I remember he says that he chides us by saying how shameful it is for a person to utter loudly. What to utter loudly? I do not hear, but I know I heard you abuse me. I do not feel any temperature, but covers myself with a blanket. Are you getting it? Little subtle, but not very subtle. I do not have a tongue, but I'm speaking. That proves that I have a tongue. That is ignorance. So this Master says, I'm not saying. So don't start becoming angry over me. He says it should be considered shameful if a person with a tongue still goes ahead and makes such a statement. It simply means I'm not able to become aware of my awareness. In order to know our real self, that is pure consciousness, we cannot use or bring another consciousness because there are no two conscious. Do you see that? I told you 21 times minimum if you are the highest level of a seeker. Why should I say if? You all are highest level of seeker. That is the reason our Master says you have to turn the mind inward to reveal the real self. This week you could just work on simple thing. Mind says, I know this object, this person, this event, this situation. Okay. So just remind your mind, consciousness plus object, consciousness plus situation. That is how I know the event outside. So there are two things, consciousness plus object. Remove the object. You are there. You have found yourself. I introduced this principle in the very beginning. We have to cover the three states. We are none of these three states. We are not the five sheaths. We are not the three bodies. And then what is left is me. There is another process. You go on negating, rejecting. What you cannot reject is you. Can you reject you are here and now? No way. No way to reject that. And that is consciousness. So when we say the false, that means it depends on something outside. It is not independent. Consciousness plus mouse, I know the mouse. Consciousness plus functioning of the mouse, that is how I know the functioning of the mouse. That is why I use the word I know how this mouse works. Take the mind back behind. Who is this I? That I is the real self here and now. Here and now. Can I see it? No. Eyes, sense organs are not the perfect instrument to see the real self. I gave an example. Every instrument of knowledge gives one type of knowledge. Do you remember? Yes, I remember. Say yes. Simple. What that means? My eyes cannot hear or taste. It gives you only one type of knowledge. That is it. It cannot give you other types of knowledge. Ears can give you the knowledge of the sound only. It cannot give you the knowledge of seeing, name and the form. Are you there with me? Yes. always with you. So, Eastern wisdom is an instrument of knowledge by which we know the real self. Telescope, you see the stars, you cannot see the cells. I always give that example. The electron microscope cannot see the stars. It can find out if there is a COVID virus or not. But it cannot see the stars. Now I will use electron microscope to see the physical body. That is the wrong notion. That is the ignorance. So the journey is like this. What is real self? We are not the three bodies, we are not the five sheaths, and we are not the three states. And then what is left is me, is consciousness, independent of anything and everything. Whether the body is there or not, consciousness is. Three bodies are there or not, consciousness is. Five sheaths is there or not, consciousness is. So that is why it is all pervading. That is why it is immanent. That is why it is eternal. Think this week, contemplate and reflect. Let us close our eyes and start with what we discussed today. Eyes are closed. And just a reminder. Reminder means that you know. Know means knowledge. So knowledge is settled in the mind. So when it is settled in the mind, you are aware. Eyes are closed. Mind is facing within. Now you clearly understand why the mind is facing within. And the body is steady. Now when I say mind is facing within and you are still thinking of an object outside, maybe yourself, it will not work. But if the thoughts are coming and going and you do not chase them, that is okay. We are learning slowly, silently, how to be in that state of meditation 24/7. Means what? It's a non-practice. So look at the neck joint, be there, feel. Why you look at all the joints, step by step, one after the other. Oh, I know. Consciousness plus all the joints. I know. I experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Oh, that's good. Now being carefree, consciousness plus thought. Thought comes, no issue. You see that consciousness plus thought, I know a thought. No, I have to control the thought. No, I didn't say that. Simply know. Consciousness thought, I know the thought is there in the mind. After some time, second thought comes. So it becomes so natural for you to be carefree of all these thoughts. That is what Master says, Vidya dadati vinayam. The knowledge gives the humility, receptivity, gives you the inner qualification. Qualification inside. There is an awareness and there is a thought, there is a past memory, there is a body. You are listening to me, all is happening in the field of awareness, but you are not attached to any one of them. Oh, So we start with the sixth neighbor. Actually, there are 5 sheaths. For the sake of understanding and practicing, I use as a sixth neighbor. So the neighbor outside the body, that is one of the greatest ignorance. Because I still feel limited by the body, I claim I am the body silently in ignorance. That is why I am not able to discover the real self. But we go by that in order to change the mind. So the world outside the room, the space, the articles, her and me and you, everything that the mind says I am not. Very clear to the mind. I'm not outside. Sixth neighbor. But the moment it comes to the body, the mind is confused. I am the body or I am not the body. Even though it is made up of the same matter. Look at the fifth neighbor. So I specifically use the word neighbor. Definitely neighbor is not me. So that, the mind matures. Oh, neighbor cannot be me. You're talking of the 6 neighbors. So internally it gives that awareness to you. Consciousness plus the fifth neighbor. I know the body. That physical body, the fifth neighbor. Because I know the body, I'm not the body. Clear. I know you, it doesn't mean that I become you. But many considerations remain there. We are attached or detached, we like, we hate, we have pain, etc., etc., and that keeps the mind in ignorance. Let us go to the fourth neighbor. You look at the breath, one way to see the subtle neighbor, to become aware of the any change, any sensation, any change and any sensation is nothing but the fourth neighbor. Any desire is the third neighbor. And we stick to a desire to succeed in meditation. That's what you are doing, is the second neighbor. Do I know the real self? Not yet. That is the first neighbor. You simply recognize it. Do not make an effort. And when you do not make an effort, it means yes. That is a glimpse to go deeper. But yes, the first neighbor says, first neighbor superimposes its wrong idea, wrong notion. When you ask, do I know myself? No. No issue. The first neighbor jumps to the third neighbor, that is mind. And then the mind asks what to do. Start breathing quick and short, gentle breath. Do it. Gently you are dropping Om Shanti deep inside the heart. The body is steady. Physical body is steady. You feel the sensation, that is the second body. That is the second body. The desire in the mind to purify it, third body. You continue the intellect, the fourth. You see that? Fourth sheath. Continue. Quick, short, gentle breath. And Om Shanti gently. Body is so all you will become aware of the 5 bodies as if 5 sheaths. You are none of these 5 sheaths. Yeah, that realization comes even by this step. when we do it more than 9 minutes, or sometime we have to do longer duration. But at the same time, the mind does not react or blame or complain. That is another part. So continue breathing. Continue saying Om Shanti. Consciousness plus the physical body, steadiness. Consciousness plus the sensation is the energy sheath or energy covering, energy superimposition. The desire continues, that is the third mental sheath. We continue with the focus, that is the intellect and the ego. And still the mind says, I have yet to know, that is the causal body. So you are simply aware. Don't push, I don't know, so let me know it. Now, here only the consciousness plus 5 sheaths. Continue. Continue rhythmic breath, maybe 80 or 100 breaths a minute. Body continues to remain steady. We know it is the energy that moves the body, not the body moves by itself. Body is purely a matter. Physical body I'm talking about. Subtle body consists of energy sheath, mental sheath, and the intellectual sheath. And the causal body, bliss sheath. Om Shanti, breath, steadiness, sensation, everything is happening in the field of awareness. Consciousness plus thing is known to me. And stop this. We will start with the Nyasa, deep silence, slow breathing, car. Mind is the driver, the space inside the right arm. You move the mind with the breath inside the right arm. And that is the space, is the highway. We are referring, mind go there. Space means sense of nothingness. but intellect continues to say Om Shanti means I am the peace. It also helps you to discover the 5 sheaths. So the ultimate goal, I'm going to leave that nyasa later in the future sessions. So I started long ago in order to make you not only understand but become aware of the 5 sheaths. Oh, that is. So the moment you do the nyasa, you become aware of the 5 sheaths. And then we know we are none of them. And there is a kind of total absorption of the mind inside. Now inside the left arm, same nyasa. You're singing Om Shanti as per the teaching of the masters that, oh, I'm the peace. Yes. It helps the mind to go far away from these 5 coverings. Is happening. Now inside the right leg, you remember the deep silence, slow breath, Om Shanti, looking into the space. Don't forget to see the space inside. Space inside means consciousness plus no object. So where the mind will return to the same consciousness. And now inside the left leg, it's just a reference point. The left leg plus consciousness. See that? Because mind cannot understand. There is no language we can express the consciousness. That is why we masters have created these principles to reach there. Consciousness plus Om Shanti, consciousness plus space, consciousness plus deep silence, slow breathing, consciousness plus steadiness of the body. You see that? There we are. We are present in anything, everything at all times. Now inside the spine, from the crown of the head to the tailbone. As you inhale, the mind moves from the crown of the head to the tailbone. Om Shanti. While exhaling, Om Shanti. You need not to even think that it's a deeper breath. You have changed the rate and the rhythm of the breath. It is deep, it is silent, that is done. Our lungs are different. They have a different capacity. So we need not to even think of that. We changed it. It is deep. It is silent. It will become. And it is slow. That is enough. Now, doing nothing, just look at the heart, triangle, move the mind on a triangle that represents the knowledge, desire, and action. Then inside the triangle, singing Om, and moving into the cave of the heart. You know, that cave by another master represents the 5 sheaths. You bypass all the cave. The mind seems to stop, drop Shanti, and be with the mind, because now the mind is not doing anything. So mind is not doing anything, so you are already there. Oh. The moment the mind has any thought, no issue, Come back again to the triangle inside the heart and continue. Again, check that now it is already Shanti. Now you're in a state of doing nothing. Even drop that triangle, drop the Om Shanti. There is another expression. Consciousness plus doing nothing is equal to consciousness. See that? That's why I tell you that every session is the highest session. We'll share our experiences once we return. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. I could see the entire session. Terry was seems to be steady. How are you, David and Jerry?
Very good. Very, very deep, very cleansing, very pure, very simple.
Very simple. That's wonderful. The more the mind said it is simple and natural, we are already on the right track. How are you, Jerry?
Very good. I think that discussion just emphasized my faith in the pure consciousness, and then during the meditation, I felt completely absorbed. So your words just kind of reiterated in that faith that I have.
Beautiful, yeah. It's not my words, all masters. Now see, there is a distortion in the teaching of the Eastern wisdom. I don't want to name this guy. He seems to be a number one neuroscientist, and he teaches mindfulness. So I'm just reading. I just got an email. When we grieve, we allow ourselves to feel the truth of our pain, the measure of betrayal or tragedy in our life. We say that grief is false. That is the basic principle. And then he gives the meditation on grief. Why should I do the meditation on grief? Why shouldn't I do the meditation on peace? But to tell you, David, that we Americans are very much attracted to these. We find it's a noble concept. Meditation on grief. Never do that. Never go there. Even if the person is number one in our country. There are 2 or 3 people, so he claims that he is number one in teaching mindfulness. It will not work. How are you, Stephen?
I'm good. Thank you for that meditation. How would I describe this? This was a high level of awareness.
Yeah.
I found the fast breathing to be effortless. I could have, I don't know, it could have gone on the entire time. It wouldn't have bothered me. There were no thoughts that came up during that. What I found to be interesting, and what I call it this high level of awareness, was the nyasa, because it was an awareness of the space that I was, or whatever, however I describe it. There was just a space. And I realized through it that there was not the right arm, there wasn't the left arm. And I kind of quickly said to myself, well, I can't be a right arm, left arm, because I'm not the body, and it can't be a body. So I was just within the space, and my focus was in the area that the arms should be and the legs should be and whatever it is, but I found myself in that space. But the thing that really got me during the vinyasa was this major awareness of the top and bottom of my breath, and that moment of the transformation of the inhale to the exhale and the exhale to the inhale, that it was just this feeling of peace and contentment. And it followed me throughout the entire rest of the meditation.
Beautiful. Beautiful. When we loosen the knots and the blockages that these 5 sheaths causes by these steps, we feel what Stephen feels. And in a single word, it's a higher state of awareness. Definitely. It is beautiful. How are you, Lalit?
Yes, I've done this practice after many, many days, and it's quite amazing, and I was totally in it. I wanted it to continue.
Okay, very good. You did after many days, and you want to continue. Please do so. How are you, Sam?
Good. I admit I'm a little bit under the weather today, and when we got to the quick, short, and fast breath, I was a little bit worried that I wasn't going to be able to handle it. And there were a couple times where I lost my breath. I was like, oh, this is hard. And then I said, well, that's just the mind telling me that. And eventually, even though I wasn't doing it fast per se compared to how I usually do it, I was able to just say, okay, it's just my mind, and was able to develop that consistency, and that created a nice, deep level of awareness throughout the rest of the meditation. I do have a quick question.
Yeah.
So I was with some friends from university this weekend, and we were naturally talking about memories from college. And I guess I could only describe that I'm starting to see my memories in terms of the false I, where the ego was, where the ignorance was, where I thought that, okay, when I was in high school, maybe I thought playing baseball would lead to permanent peace and happiness. Or maybe I would lead to, in college, maybe hanging out with friends would lead to permanent peace and happiness. Is it important, or is that a natural step that we start seeing our memory in the lens of our ego eventually?
Whatever comes to the mind, your goal should be to see the truth. So we have already discussed about the truth is one layer, false is another, and untruth is the third. Memories comes from the past. Past is dead, cannot be retrieved. You say goodbye to the past. Learn from it. Let us move ahead. Let us move ahead. That is very important in the journey. If I retrieve the memory, remember it again and again, I have learned a lesson. That is it. Okay, this is memory. This is the lesson I have learned. Let me move forward.
Yeah.
Another part that is also very important, when we talk to our friends, as you said, university friends, so there is a difference between the gossip and contemplation. So university student means gossip. Now ask yourself, is there a need to retrieve those memories? Because others are also retrieving. Why should I? Oh, very good. You have very good memories. Oh, what about you? I don't get it. Once I get it, then again we will say. I have to live into the higher level of awareness. See that? So, how are you, Terry?
I was able to follow along the whole time, and do everything and hearing everything and stayed focused on what was being said, and it helped me to go into the space. And it wasn't until the triangle that I start to come out of it, back into the body. And I had some discomfort, and I suddenly became very acutely aware of it. And I started thinking, the triangle, is that in, like I started thinking, where is the triangle? Which of the 5 sheaths is a triangle in? That's what I was thinking. And then I came more and more out of the meditation after that. But it was good because I was able to be in it all the way up.
All the time. That's what I see. I saw you totally still. Yes, it's a good statement, and someday we will cover that. Triangle represents knowledge, desire, and action, in which one of the 5 sheaths it is present. Yes, that's a good question, but I'm not covering that. How are you, Brandy?
I'm good, thank you for the meditation this morning. My experience with my mind is a little bit different than maybe what Sam was talking about, and it going back and having memories. I realize that a lot of the mind stuff that comes up for me, particularly when I start my practice, is I'm planning. Like I'm planning what food I'm going to prepare later, what work I'm going to prepare later, and I'm still focused, but I have to kind of slow that down. And when I finally got it settled down and was really in the practice, I got interrupted by my cat just scratching my leg, and so then I got refocused, but I realized my mind started all over again. Planning. I'm like, okay,
So that is why we say during the practice, we should not have any external disturbances until we reach to a state where no external disturbances or external things cause any issue. But it's okay. Another part is that realizing, contemplating, and reflecting during the practice that you did is more important. Beautiful. How are you, Samir?
Sir, it was very peaceful. No thoughts were there. And every time, total blankness. My body was totally still.
Good.
I was just thinking, and there was nothing, totally blank. No thoughts.
No thoughts.
As soon as you start the meditation, the thoughts start disappearing. They started falling down, and after that, I go deep into the meditation and just feel full fresh.
Very good. See how
like taking bath in the morning. Mind has taken the bath.
Oh, very good. See how great teacher I am. Ha ha ha. Very good. How are you, Ashok?
Good, sir. The peaceful meditation.
Peaceful meditation. Very good.
Thank you.
How are you, Vaibhav?
Sir, I'm good. It was really very peaceful. It's like if I don't associate myself with anything, then I don't get limited to that situation.
Good.
And if I'm not associating, that I'm totally free. I have no limits. This was very peaceful.
Beautiful. Yes. I think you are using the same phrase, and it has gone deeper into you. Any association with the world outside from the body, physical body, creates a false I. I think I talked to Sam someday. Yes. Talked to Sam some other day. So that association is not there because ignorance is not there. Otherwise, my cat, my dog, my honey, and a long list. So that my is an association. So that's a beautiful way to put it. How are you, Rakesh?
Thank you, sir. Today, when we were doing the 6 neighbors, the way I felt about the 6th neighbor, exactly similar I felt about the 5th neighbor, because I was somewhere inside and they were just like a outer shell.
Okay.
My room or my body, or then I came to the fourth neighbor, which is my energy body. So all these things happened during the initial phase of the meditation. Later on, when we reached to the triangle, it was going very deep, and suddenly something started happening to me. I was just trying to figure out what is that, and then I realized my body and my second sheath, which is the energy body, they are trying to uplift from the chair, but I don't know. But so my entire focus went there, and I stopped what I was doing on the triangle. This continued till the end.
Till the
when I opened my eyes.
When this prana is liberated from all the prana means the energy body, when the second sheath is liberated itself from the rest of the four, this energy appears realized one with the entire cosmic energy. So that gives an uplifting experience. So that is a good thing, good experience. So anyone, Anastasia is left. Yeah.
Thank you. It was naturally deep and calm. And today I had a feeling of smile. I didn't smile, I think, but it was like in my mind, or like somebody was smiling to me.
Yeah.
And
I was smiling.
And I had, yeah.
Yeah.
And I had some problems with my throat. I had a lot of saliva. It has never happened to me in meditation, but it has happened today. And I realized that this is my body reacts to my mind. So, and it was separated, but I struggled a little bit.
Yeah. All the struggle, pain, grief, reaction, anger, hesitation, aggression comes from the combination and functioning of these 5 sheaths. And we are none of these 5 sheaths. And they come at different levels. The way we lived our life since our birth, the way our parents have brought us, the way we conditioned ourselves by the society, by the culture, by the parents, by the family, and how I responded. This is all a summary of 5 sheaths, and that is why we are none of these 5 sheaths. And the last thing, never practice meditation on grief, pain. That is quite interesting. I have subscribed to these who claims that they are the great masters, and I received their email. This is now we are having a retreat for 3 days on meditation on grief. Just think of it. I don't agree. Whether you agree, then you can go there. I can send you the. That is all. Thank you.
Namaste. Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Namaste.
Namaste, everyone.
Thank you. My goodness, this is too much.